Welcome to Real Geek Media. It is Thursday, February 6th, 2025. We are back. We are here. We are going to be talking about Den of Thieves 2, Pantera, which I don't even know if they needed that little subtitle in there. Um, Before we get into the movie, let us talk about what's new. Christopher Michael Blake, I'm Hayden Stoll. Christopher, what's going on?
Hayden, there was a giant heist, and somebody lifted $30 from my wallet. I think it may have been Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson.
It was Regal Cinemas.
Those two brave people who sat in front of us. Oh, yeah.
So, what's new before we get into the movie? Anything going on?
Working on formatting Midnight Macabre, which is right here. Trespass Against Us, release week, February 1st. It came out. Hope you got your copy. So I've been busy. Crimson Harvest. We're making progress. Filming starts in May. The script is, for right now, done.
That's exciting stuff right there. Very exciting stuff. So, let's get into the movie. So this is Christian. I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Christian Gudegast returning as the director. He directed the first one. Other credits that he has, he wrote A Man Apart. That was Vin Diesel back in 2003. London Has Fallen. He wrote that. And then Den of Thieves was his, I guess, directorial debut. So, Den of Thieves. You could almost say it's, in a way, like a modern version of Heat meets Usual Suspects, in a sense. Really enjoyed that movie, the first one, right? It was very good. It has a very serious tone. You get the story from both sides. You're getting the criminals, and then you're getting the law enforcement part of it as they investigate the criminals, and you're kind of trading off stories, and you're meeting the characters. Really well done movie, and serious action, right? It's not like a goofy, slapsticky, kind of like a Bad Boys kind of movie at all. It's a serious tone. There's action, there's drama. Really well done. Nice little twist at the end. And that brings us into Den of Thieves 2, where we seemingly, it doesn't directly pick up from the end of the first movie, because a lot of the crew that O'Shea Jackson's character was with is not there. Nothing is explained of what happened to them, and we go right into them with a little heist from a plane, and they steal some diamonds, and we're on our way. Okay, it's a European setting, so a lot of the locations and the places are unfamiliar to me. I think part of what I enjoyed about the first one is we've seen so movies, with heists in LA, bank robberies in LA, and things like that. Like, you're kind of like, okay, I understand this. I'm not like, if it's almost like, Ocean's 12, right? Where it was very European, and you're just like, it's not really connecting all of it with me, right? The actors are outside of Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson. I couldn't tell you who was in this movie. Didn't know like any of the other people. And then in the first movie, that's where you had like, okay, I know him. This one was very much the opposite of that. And some heavy accents, had trouble understanding some of the dialogue on my end. I don't know if you felt the same with any of that. The setting was kind of, didn't really do it for me.
So if you're looking for my opinion, again, I tend to agree with you. Den of Thieves, fourth fun movie, really enjoyed it. You go back to the shootout that they had on the parkway with all the parked vehicles, and then the chemistry between I'm trying to remember the guy's name now. The bad guy in the movie, and then you find out he's not really the leader. It was actually O.J. Jackson's character who was the leader. I know it will. Gerard Butler.
Pablo Schreiber.
Thank you. Between those two characters and the animosity that and Gerard Butler's kind of like antagonize him. Where was the tension in this one? And that's the problem I have with Den of Geeks, Den of Thieves 2. Is there's no tension throughout the entire movie. You got him sitting in the court, he's in the bathroom, he's reading his divorce papers, he throws them out. Oh, instead of just picking my life up and taking some blame, I gotta go find this guy. And he flies off to, I guess it's France. And O.J. Jackson's already kind of planning out an escape route and everything, and you're like, okay, what's this about? And about 2 hours later, you finally see a heist happen. And nothing really happens during the heist. It's like almost anticlimactic. I mean, it's a whole bunch of timing stuff, but really there's no maybe playing Ring Around the Posy with the camera. That's really kind of it. There was nothing else really to grab my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a big shootout on the way out. The guys, who are going to be bad guys in the first place. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you knew these guys were going to be chasing you in the first place, you got these other guys go kill, why not just kill them in advance? I mean, I don't know.
It's fair.
Or even the day that you do the robbery.
Right. If
I don't know. I mean, I just, there was so many different, I know, I guess it had to be because of the football game. They were like, oh, no, it has to be because of that football game that day. It was a huge game. And I'm just like, he can't be got to some other way. That one guy, the bank manager. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, the whole movie for me falls apart. I really don't have a lot of positive things to say about this movie. It's 2.5 hours long. Hayden, yeah. I'll give you the floor. I'm not trying to take up the entire time here tonight, but I will come back when you finish with one comment.
I agree. Where you have that serious tone, a lot of dramatic events happen in the first movie. In this one, it was more slapsticky. There's a whole section in when Gerard Butler tracks down O'Shea Jackson. He's got him in his hotel room. It looks like there's going to be something serious, and then it turns into, I'm going to do this with you. And they go out for beers, and they smoke some weed. They get into a bar fight. They're talking about the cities they grew up in, and it's all this buddy stuff. What in that specific scene, I'm like, yeah, but you lost one officer in the first movie, and now you're gonna just talk to this guy like he's your buddy. And I know it was, to put him on to gain his trust and everything, but we don't get one scene where he feels regret for losing an officer. It's just slapsticky stuff, which is weird because the tone, that's such a shift from the first movie, right? Like, you could have cut out some of that stuff, as well as like the planning of the heist, right? Like, this was a 2 hours, 20 minutes. This was a long movie, right? You could have trimmed some of that out and brought it in around 2 hours. And I think it would have been received from me a little better, because you could have trimmed out some of the fat there. But like, it took a long time to get to, okay, we're actually doing the heist. You know what I mean? And then it resolves itself conveniently on the roadway in the mountains, where they, earlier in the movie, they said this is the border, and the mafia just happens to be there right at the time when the crash happened. That specific spot, like, what happened here? So like, whereas clean as that first movie was, this thing took a step back to me.
I don't blame Gerard Butler or O'Shea Jackson. I thought that they did well together with what they had. I thought that their buddy lines together were okay. They weren't great. I gotta give huge props to Gerard Butler for the end of the movie. Spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. Earmuffs. That's all I can tell you. He's sitting there at the end. They got all the money. They finally got away, and he's almost like he didn't believe he was gonna get away with this. And he's nervous. He's sitting there tapping the sunglasses, and he's like, you see him like he's actually like, everybody else is just kind of relaxed, having a good time. Like, yeah, and they kind of brought it back full circle to where, oh, that guy who the police officer couldn't catch because he couldn't connect with anybody, he finally was close enough to get close to him and finally get him for that guy. You know, they kind of brought it full circle, but it was kind of like, now he feels bad for him, and I'm just going to break him out. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Now you're indebted to me and you're going to work for me? What, you can't find somebody else to work? I mean, I don't know. You sit there for like an hour and 45 minutes. And you're waiting for something to happen. And then the payoff was just not there for this movie, in my opinion. Sure, there's some buddy stuff that happens between the characters. Let me ask you a question, Hayden. The mob catches them and they throw them off the side of the boat. Were you ever like concerned, like, hey, these guys might not make it out of this?
No. Not at all.
No. Not once.
No.
Not
they
once.
made it actually look easy. Oh, they didn't take them out that far. I thought they were in the middle of the ocean. No, they're just off the coast. I was like, okay.
So, look, for me, Den of Thieves 2 was a hard pass. It's a shame because I would probably go see a Den of Geeks.
I would go see Den of Geeks.
Den of Thieves 3, I would probably go see it. I do like the Gerard Butler character in this, and I do like the O'Shea Jackson character in this. But where's the big reveal? Where's the big turnaround? Like, was it Gerard Butler's turn to, I finally got him. I'm going to play him this time?
Right.
And it's like, now I feel guilty about it. But now, Den of Thieves 3 would be like, we're back together. We're the Mel Gibson, Danny Glover of robbery.
We're not too old for this shit.
No, but do you think you just sent me to jail? I'm a wanted man.
I know.
Interpol's looking for me. America, they're looking for me. I blame you.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's okay. We can be buddies now again. Really? I just, because they're coming up with a third one for this.
They already greenlit the third one.
Yeah. Again,
it's a shame. When did the first one? I think it was pre-COVID, right? 2018. I think it's a shame they waited so long to follow it up, because I think after the first one there was, it didn't do a huge box office, but I think it was like double its budget, which was maybe 80-90 million it pulled. But it's I don't know. It's a shame. It could have been better. I think they really just thought too hard with this one. And I know they're trying to base it off of like actual real life diamond heists. And I think some of that might be the issue. The setting didn't work for me. I just wish it was more in a place that I was familiar with. Maybe some supporting actors that I was actually, I don't know. I couldn't understand some of the dialogue.
I didn't have a problem with the dialogue. What I had a problem with was this. In the first one, Gerard Butler's character, he's taking a cattle prod to the guy. He wakes up, he's pissed himself. He's in a room full of hookers. Mm-hmm. They're beating the shit out of this guy. They're doing all this nasty stuff to these people. The cops are playing just as dirty as the bad guys. It created tension. Yeah. And in this one, it was almost like there was like, and I try not to watch any trailers. I don't want to watch anything that's going to give me a spoiler. Captain America, the new one's coming out soon. I've tried to watch nothing about it. I don't want to read about it. I don't want to know about it. I want to be utterly surprised going into that. And it was the same way with this one. And I was just like, can we do something? And I blame the writers. I don't blame the director. The director was okay. The exotic location was actually the most interesting part of the movie for me. Because I had kind of Caribbean, nautical type feel to it. Beach resort town, very wealthy, a lot of affluence. That did it for me. Those are the things that So that's where they spent most of the money, was on location and the actors. But where are the shootouts? You got Den of Thieves, where they started off with this giant heist scene, and the guy goes for his gun and they just start shooting everybody. This one, they walk into the airport hangar and there's almost no tension. It's like, we just drive into a cargo hold, and here we got this shipping container. We'll just pull in, and nobody got hurt. Which is what you want for a robbery. I get that, but could you have a scene where would have been more dramatic if the mob had shown up and hung O'Shea Jackson and maybe one of his cohorts out the window, and then maybe dropped the cohort on his head? I'm just spitballing here.
Mm-hmm.
These are mobsters. What if they cut his finger off? Well, no, you had to go get this. Why is he so eager to go ahead and just go get this diamond for these people? He can't just disappear. He's done it once before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now we have to go in there. We have to go with good. I don't know. I just.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a shame, man. Like I was kind of hyped for this movie.
I was too.
It's but you do mention I think Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson are a good pair, right? I think they play well off each other. Gerard Butler I love him in the role. I really do. It's a good role for him.
Yeah.
And
Nick the Dick. Yeah.
Yeah. And O'Shea Jackson, I don't see him in much.
No.
After Straight Outta Compton, he was in a couple things, but I don't really see him in a whole lot right now, but I thought he's pretty good, right? He looks very much like his dad.
Phenomenal job in Den of Geeks. The way he was able to turn the accent, and he played like the dummy the whole way through, and it was like, he was almost like the working guy at that point. Like he's just kind of tagging along because this is gonna be his payday. Fell in, and then he finds out he's the complete mastermind behind this. Look, I give him credit. He learned. He spoke French beautifully through the movie, and I thought he did a decent job with what he was given.
Yeah. The
problem was that the material that the writers gave him wasn't very entertaining.
Yeah.
Not that it wasn't good. Maybe it was good, but it wasn't entertaining. So I blame the writers for this, not the director, not the actors.
Yeah.
I blame the writers for this.
Yeah.
If they had included another huge shootout, or something to that effect, okay.
It was lacking on those action moments, right? Like you bring up a good point. The first one jumped off, boom, gunfight. Yeah, where were the stakes? Yeah, we're just driving around the airport. Look, I'm in a container.
Well, it's just not only that. It's what are we doing to prepare for this heist? It's I'll go to the Reservoir Dogs line. Yeah, 5 guys sitting in a bullpen in San Quentin arguing about what they're doing there.
Yeah.
And this one's telling jokes, and this one's telling jokes, and somebody finally says, "Hey, the entire time we were planning this caper, we did nothing but tell jokes."
Yep.
And that's what it looks like with this movie. It's like, they're at the nightclub every night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you see some scenes where they're actually working on the technology and everything to get this done. But let's face it, the tension and the drama happened at the nightclubs. And then you're going to tell me you can't change your hideout from the bad guys you were kind of in bed with, but just kind of left?
Yeah.
I would think that would be like, hey, that might be a good idea. These guys kind of know our plan. They even know our vehicles. You tell me we can't put it in another car and just like.
That's like a major plot hole. You know what I mean? Like, they know it. They're not here. They're out. okay, we're not going to change course. We're just going to keep going forward and see what happens. You know they're going to come against you, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So as far as Christian Gudigast, yeah, there's potential there. I think he can do some things. I don't know. I feel like this was just a little bit overthought, underdone. Maybe just keep it a little more simple next time, but bring back the tension, bring back the stakes, like you had said. There's a perfect things to reference here. Like this one, there was nothing, and if you believe, like even the whole twist, right? Like, I want to, be the bad guy. I want to make the money. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. Right. Like there's no like second guessing that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't really have too much more to say about this movie. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'll say it is, if you like the first one, it's worth a look, right? It's not as good, but it's worth a look, right? I'm curious to see where it goes as a franchise. We'll see. I mean, I like a good action crime drama heist movie. I like them, but
here you go. Here's another one. Okay, this is just me spitballing here, because again, that's what I do. I'm an idea guy. Can't help myself. You got this old guy who's like the lead bad guy at the end, right? Like, oh, you're gonna work for me now. He's some no-name French guy. Why not make it somebody who's actually got some name recognition, kind of like that Joe Pesci type character? So now you're adding some tension with the third movie coming up, where you have this really popular bad guy, and then those two were maybe trying to get out from underneath his thumb while trying to bring down the mob and trying to get out. I'm just, while at the same time trying to pull off a heist and trying to get out. But now you've kind of pigeoned yourself into, well, now we only speak French. Now we only do things this way. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, again, I don't mind the French stuff, the French aspect, but I'm kind of like, you're going to tell me you can't get think of an actor here now who's kind of still relevant, but not going to break the bank for you.
Right. Yeah. You could get that aging veteran actor. Like this would have been like a,
you know, somebody they brought Stallone out at the end, not Stallone, but Schwarzenegger out at the end.
Right.
Again, Switzerland's right there. Germany's right there. I mean, he fits the foreign part perfectly. He's older,
but he could be menacing.
Yes,
and he's imposing.
He's got name recognition. So now it's kind of Den of Thieves.
Oh,
Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson versus Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, what are we setting up here? Yeah,
I'm I don't want to go Statham because Statham's kind of in everything nowadays. But
yeah,
but at the same time, you're looking for something that has some name recognition to him. Somebody who's kind of done a couple things, but not overly popular, who you can kill off at the end of 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, now all of a sudden, maybe you got some gunfights going on.
Right.
You got some explosions going on.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm looking for.
I like it.
But we don't have that here.
Yeah,
we got,
I like it.
Well, you're going to work for us now. It's like almost no question. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They got black helicopters and SWAT guys coming out of
right.
trees and everything else.
We're the Sicilian mob, we can kind of do that.
Maybe the French mob has that. I mean, I don't know. Or the Sicilian mob has that. I don't know. But, I mean, according to Godfather 3, they took out an entire tower in the casino, right? So, I mean, why not? I mean, I'm just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me spitballing. If I was going to write it, that's what I would have done or cast it. I would want some name recognition in there. Jean Reno, I think would have been.
Jean Reno is a perfect example.
Why couldn't you tell me? Look, what's the last movie he did? The Seal movie. You got to tell me he wasn't available for this?
Yeah, Gene Reno is a great choice for that.
I'm
He's
just,
great.
I'm just giving you the name. I mean, that's
because he's recognizable here in America as well as, you know, in Europe. That's a great choice.
He's not breaking the bank.
No, he's not. But he's bringing that threatening presence. And he's a decent enough actor to chew up some scenery and kind of make you scared for the heroes. Interesting. I would see that movie. I would like to see that movie. Yeah. Christian Gudegast, this guy over here, let him write your movie.
Not only that, I mean, what if I said Christian Slater? I mean, look,
I'm okay with that.
The guy's working as Dexter, you know, his father right now.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to tell me if he got a telephone call, hey, you want to be in a movie for the potential sequel? He's not, oh, hey, I got to go. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, yeah. I'm just, you know, I'm throwing some older actors out there who are past their prime a little bit, who have played bad guys in the past.
I like it.
I'm just throwing things out there. You know, Travolta, he'd probably cost you a lot of money. I don't, you know, so I'd probably stay away from that. And then he'd probably want to hog the screen. But he's got some panache to him.
Yeah.
He's got like a swagger to him.
Yeah.
That's what I think that this movie was kind of missing from the bad guys.
Agreed.
There was no swagger. There was no, you know, there was no enticing aspect. They're one-dimensional. It's about as one-dimensional as it got for almost everybody except for Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson. Would you agree? Agreed. I mean, that's. I'm a bad guy. That's what I do. Okay. Oh, I'm in a club. That's my girlfriend. What if they took him for a ride? You know, later. Hey, get in the car with us. We'll take you home. Yeah. Now all of a sudden they get into a fight. It's 2-on-1. I'm just, again, I'm. There you go. But again, I'm throwing ideas out there. I'm not going to write your movie for you. Hayden, we're going to move on with the box office, but you know, before we do, is your business looking for an affordable way to gain and attract new clients?
Me? You're asking me? Hayden. Of course.
Real Geek Media Entertainment.
Yes, we are.
That's you, Hayden. Is now offering sponsorships for their podcast and website. What's that? Your business can't afford a sponsorship? No problem. Consider running an advertisement during one of our podcast shows. Now, that advertisement is good for 2 shows because we run the news right after this. So you're getting 2 commercials for the price of 1, as well as advertising on our website. Hayden, what's the cost of that right now?
We're looking at $30.
That's less than a bundle of eggs, Hayden. It's less than your eggs cost.
Just under.
Look, it's inflation. And we run our summer special. It was even less than that.
Was.
So visit realgeekmedia.com. Click on the links for sponsor us, advertise us with, or donate here to get started. By the way, that's www.realgeekmedia.com. Think about all the platforms we're on, Hayden. And for those of you in the audience who are not aware, we got Spotify, Twitch, X, Apple Music. I know we're not on music, but that's just what we're on. And our new platform that we're currently broadcasting on. Hayden, tell them all about it.
Paranormal 24/7 Network.
Who would have thought they were stupid enough to put my ugly face up on their screen? It's a face only a mother could love, and she won't even look at me. It's hideous, Hayden. So that's what I'm saying is, look, we are now on television. We're on app. We're on an app. If I told you 1 year ago, hey, we're going to be on TV, I was never going to happen. Hayden even told me I was crazy. He was like, I don't understand this, but okay, I'll go with it. God made it happen, but we're here. We're here to stay. Thank you, Paranormal 24/7. We appreciate the opportunity. Again, $30, you could be here on our commercial. Commercial number 2, Hayden. Here we go. We've been talking about it. We started off the movie, the show today with it. Trespass Against Us, just released February 1st. When he's confined to his home for vehicular homicide he couldn't prevent, Brendan Peters is a flawed author. must dodge his own guilt and threat of arrest when he witnesses his mysterious neighbor disposing of a body. This forces him into a dangerous game of cat and mouse with deadly consequences against us. It's available on Amazon.com and ChristopherMichaelBlake.com. Hayden, we're on to the movies this week, and because it's a short week, we're back next week with
Heat. We're going heist movies.
the greatest. I love that line. I do.
It's a great line.
Do you know? I'll go over it next week. I shouldn't tell you today.
Save it.
But I will tell you this. I finally saw a movie you've been promoting for the last 3 years to me.
Oh, yeah?
I was very disappointed with it.
What was it?
Dragged Across Concrete.
Oh, you didn't like that?
So I'll give you my problem with the whole movie. Mel Gibson, I love Vince Vaughn, by the way, and everything he does. And he does great in this, too. And Jennifer Carpenter getting blown away in the face.
Oh, man.
And I think she's very attractive. I don't care. It's just, again, I'm just like maroon, it's like, I'm ready to fall out just thinking about it. I'm getting a little lightheaded. But the problem I have with the movie is the ending and how it kind of ends like that. And it's just like you brought a minor character into this whole thing. And he just kind of, he wins. And that bothered me.
Really?
Look,
you thought he was a minor character?
How many scenes did he have up to the heist, which is an hour and 15 minutes into the movie?
I mean, we spent a lot of time with him,
One.
with
he
his
shows
family.
up. He goes up to his house.
Right.
His mom's got issues. His brother's got issues. One.
But even in the car with Jay White, or Jay, is it Jay? Michael J. White.
Yeah.
They have their little back and forth. I don't know. I didn't consider him a minor character. But I could see what you're saying.
But again, that's just the problem I have with the movie. But that's not what we're here to review and talk about today, though. But I'm just telling you, I finally got around to watching this thing, and I was like, the first hour, I was like, okay, I'm on, and Don Johnson, you got caught on film, and okay, I'm with that. I'm with it. And then it's just kind of like
some of the violence was shocking in that movie.
Oh, look, I mean, peeling this rag, and I mean, I'm like, but no, I for a guy who wrote and directed the movie, that's like a dream cast to have. I mean, your first time out, I would think. I mean, I don't know if it was his first time directing a movie or not, or writing a movie, but
did you ever see Brawl in Cell Block 99?
No, Vince Vaughn was in that too, though, right?
It's the same director. Yeah.
Okay.
Don Johnson shows up in that thing too. That's a good one.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
I mean, again, I would probably watch that now because I love Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
There's a bad guy. I mean, the other night I was watching Old School.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. It's on TBS.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I'm still watching Jeremy Piven. I'm still watching Snoop Dogg. I'm still watching at least, I'm watching this thing and I love it. And I'm thinking, and I know that they kind of make sure they didn't have a sequel to that when they blew up the car and then dropped it right on Jeremy Piven's head at the end. But I'm sitting there thinking, how do you not have a sequel to that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Happy Gilmore 2 coming out. Even what was the intern movies that they had with their Google?
Oh, the Google. Yeah, The Internship.
Thank you.
That's great. That's a great movie. He's
whether
great.
It's comedy or straight or a horror, he's kind of.
I like Vince Vaughn too. Yeah,
I really like him. So, other than True Detective season 2, great actor, can do a lot. Those aren't the movies we're talking about here today. We're here to talk about 2 movies tonight.
All right,
and I want your opinion. If one's going to beat the other at the box office,
okay?
Because there's a famous line in what was the Nicolas Cage movie where he's playing himself? It's
something staggering talent or something.
Yeah, right. the one where he's playing with Pedro Pascal.
Yes.
And they're sitting there in the basement. He's like, I'm going to show you the most beautiful movie ever made. Oh, I have to see this movie. What is it? Do you remember the movie?
Was this Paddington 2?
Paddington 2. And they're crying. And Nick Cage turns and goes, you're right. It was beautiful. So the first movie is Paddington in Peru. Don't spit that out, Hayden. Don't spit that out, Hayden.
Peru. Oh, yes. Boy. I got to say, this movie kind of came out of left field, no?
There hasn't been the big hype money for this movie so far, right?
Yeah.
But you ask yourself right now, what's the last movie you took your kids to go see?
I think it was Transformers 1. So
for me, it was...
oh, wait, no. Maybe. I saw something around Christmas time. I don't remember what, though.
And that's the problem is nobody remembers what these movies are.
Yeah.
When we went to go see something, I couldn't even tell you what the movie is now that I'm sitting here thinking about it either. But it was probably around end of November, beginning of December also.
Yeah.
You had that out. It's coming out for the kids. Now, granted, you could take them out to see the new Captain America, which is the other movie.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a shot Paddington 3 dethrones Captain America, comes out of left field this week?
Oh, man. Well, it's Captain America's coming next week.
Next week. So Paddington's this week. Yeah.
Paddington is this week. I don't think that Paddington is going to outdraw it in opening weekend. I don't. I just I think that Captain America movie's got people curious for good and for bad. Now, with that said, I think Paddington will do well. And you look at it this way too, right? This is like a kid's movie. Did this not... I don't know what the release is for it as far as like worldwide. It's opening in America this weekend.
But we only do domestic anyway, so I'm not worried about that.
No. I'm just saying I don't know if it's been a success elsewhere yet or not. You got a holiday weekend next weekend, right? So, if the espionage action of Marvel is not for some kids, you got Paddington ready to go. So I think in the long run it might hold its own. Opening weekend though, I don't know. I think it'll do well.
Give me the number, Hayden. Or you want me to go first?
I'll give you This is a tough weekend, Super Bowl. I'm going to go, I want to say like 12.
Wow, okay. I don't think you're wrong there, Hayden. I'm going to tell you why. Movies right now, nobody wants to kind of leave the house for.
Yeah. It's
very cold out, or there's fires in your local neighborhood. It's one or the other right now. That's just my opinion. The movie theater, movie business never does well in July or January or February, March. Not till you get to like the spring when people start getting off and the action movies and the buzz movies start coming out. I do think it does better than 12 though, because the reason I stated, what's the last movie you took your kids to go see?
Mm-hmm.
And people may be itching to get out of the house. For that reason, I'm going to go 15.
Oh, okay. It's a good guess.
So
that's a good guess. It's in the ballpark, right?
Right, yeah.
It's not going to be crazy, but it's going to do okay.
I thought 18, but it's British, so that's the problem with the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm serious. It's you can have Paddington the woke bear. It's okay. I mean, we're okay with that. But
right.
But here in America, we got the Trumpy bear, so doesn't work. Speaking of America, here we got Captain America.
Yes.
Now, I think I'm a little bit more excited about this movie than you are. I will go first if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I really like the Chris Evans Captain America. I like the storylines that they did with him. It worries me the number of reshoots that they've had on this thing that I've heard about. And those are just the ones we've heard about.
Mm-hmm.
Can Marvel mess up Captain America? Can Disney mess up Captain America?
Mm-hmm.
I like the Sam Wilson Captain America. I think it's a good idea. I don't have a problem with it. I think that this is something that I can get behind and watch and sit down for 2 hours and 15 minutes and eat my popcorn and be like, oh, okay, this is some action. It's, got some suspense. It's got some stakes. And as long as they give you those few things, I'm going to be okay with it. I think people are going to be really harsh on it, regardless of whether it's good or not. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's a tough weekend to open up. Do you really want to take your girlfriend on a Friday or Saturday night that you're spending Valentine's Day to go see Captain America? Hey, honey, unless she's a super geek or a nerd, she ain't having that. I told you before how much I spent for Valentine's Day coming up. Captain America was not on that list. All right, believe me. I wish it was, but that's not what I get for Valentine's Day. It's like, okay, here's your box of candy, go away. So, just again, my opinion, I think Captain America was going to do just fine. I think it's, the budget for this thing, by the way?
I'm afraid to even ask with the reshoots. You figure that's just tacking on. I'm not sure.
I would hesitate to guess it's got to be 200 million, right?
I would say 200 to 300 at this point.
And you're not even talking probably promotional budget on top of that, right?
Yeah.
I think this thing still does 40 million this weekend
for opening weekend.
Yes, which again is probably light.
Yeah, I think it is.
But again, for the reasons I said, it's a holiday. With Valentine's Day, I think it's February. The fact this is a February release and not a summer release leaves me to kind of question why that is. Because during summertime, it would have it would play long time. I mean, let's face it, it'd be in the theaters for 8 weeks.
Now, I'm gonna say this, right? The February release has been. You go back with Marvel to Black Panther. I think it was 2018 February. Massive. That was like $1 billion box office movie. Or just shy, if I remember correctly. That was February release. The second one, I think, was also February release. And it seems like Marvel kind of plots this release schedules. It's 3 or it's 5 movies, and they lock down February with one of these movies, and it's been successful for them. And I think this one's going to be successful. That's not my review of it. We're going to review that movie on this show. And, I'm hoping to be proven wrong with this movie. But that doesn't mean I don't think it's going to do well. I think it's be huge weekend. I'm going to say 80 million. It's going to be massive. People are curious, like I had said, for good or for bad. Whether this thing is going to flop, the reshoots, I don't think it's going to keep people away. I think it just makes them curious as to, is this going to be really bad or is it going to be good? I don't know if people are sold on Anthony Mackie as Captain America. He's loved him as Falcon. I just don't know if I buy it without the super soldier component. It just seems off to me. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting punched by Red Hulk. How are you not dead? But we don't know the story, right? That's just the trailer. We'll see what happens. But people are going to be curious about this movie, and they're going to want to know, okay, Marvel, what do you got? How are you going to win me back after all the flops?
That's what I was going to tell you about Black Panther. Is that was really riding the coattails of all those other successful Marvel movies that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't seen Black Panther 2. Have you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. So, and Black Panther was okay. I mean, I
like the first.
I wouldn't watch it again. I thought the main aspect of Black Panther for me that I really liked was actually the soundtrack. I thought the soundtrack for the thing was beautifully done. I thought when you got the guy who plays Bilbo Baggins running around and the fighter killing people, I thought that was a bit much. I was like, that was kind of hokey. Like, do we really need that guy doing this? You know, can you go back to playing Dr. Watson? I mean, you know, please. I mean, that's just my opinion. It stays down there running the Guantanamo Bay of superheroes or supervillains. You know, it's like, oh, come on, I just want to press the button on you. Come on. I'm just like, oh, please. Can you stop with the paycheck already, please? But
you bring up a point, and it's like a trend with the Marvel movies is they're typically the box office follows along with how the previous movie was received. People were into it, box office is going to be high. You know, you see that spike with Spider-Man, the third Spider-Man with Tom Holland, right? Huge, right? People showed up for Doctor Strange, but less. People showed up for Guardians 3, but less, right? It kept going down because the previous movie wasn't as good, right? So yes, I do agree with you for that. I just think this thing, like, there's just such a curiosity factor to it for me. Like, this thing could be a total train wreck, or it could be, you know, I think they're trying to tout it kind of like in the Civil War, or not the Civil War, the Winter Soldier kind of vibe to this movie. That's kind of what they're trying to convey. Okay, that was a good movie. Maybe it'll be good. We'll see.
Like I said, I'm willing to give it a shot, and I'm excited. I'm actually excited about this. But again, I was excited about Den of Thieves too. And anything that Disney seems to touch lately,
it's been bad. Yeah,
turns to poo. So, yeah,
agreed. But yeah, we'll see. We're gonna have a clear-cut winner.
That one's, of course, it'll probably do 60 down the line. But so that'll probably be it. But Hayden, I'm ready for the news.
Yeah, we'll be right back with the news.
Way too long about I think Den of Thieves 2, which really didn't require us to talk that much about it.
It's 20 minutes.
It was 20 minutes. It felt like 2.5 hours.
It felt like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I'm not getting that time back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's gone. Goodbye. Yeah.
All right, Hayden.
But stick around. We'll be back with Let's Get Weird. We're going to talk about all the funny and interesting news stories. So we will be right back. He's Christopher Michael Blake. I'm Hayden Stoll. We'll see you right back.